Hey everybody, it's Prime Day, and today at Connect to Watts, we are going to be covering all of the biggest and best deals for health and fitness. So we're going to be covering wearables, cardio equipment, strength equipment, recovery, and more. So there are a ton of discounts and sales to go through. And so what I am going to do in the video description below is I'm going to lay out everything that we talk about in this video with the links to the item and also a timestamp to when we talk about it in this video. So if you're interested in certain things, you can kind of pick and choose and kind of listen to any feedback or any advice or suggestions that I have based on maybe having used the equipment or seen the sale based on other sales in the past to see if it's a good deal or not. So ideally, this will just be a good resource for you to use if you want some help picking out some good deals for health and fitness. So that being said, we're going to get started right away with wearables. Now, some of the items that are discounts or on sales for Prime Day aren't always just on Amazon Prime. In fact, a lot of sales going on right now are on products' own websites as well. So one of those is going to be Whoop. And so Whoop, I made an article here on it, and I believe the sale should be up any moment. But basically, they are going to be lowering the price of Whoop to $199 for a 1-year membership. I believe this is the case whether you already have a Whoop or not. So if you already have a Whoop, you can go ahead and extend your membership for a much discounted price. I think the usual price is $239. And that's even discounted from $300, which was the price last year. Now, it's not currently up as I'm recording this video right now, but I was told it should be happening sometime today. So I would keep your eye out if you're interested in Whoop. And I've done a few reviews on Whoop. I think it's a great product, especially if you're interested in tracking your health and recovery, especially if you're into like HRV and behavioral tracking. A really excellent wearable. Now, next up is the Ultrahuman. Now, I just put out a review for this just the other day, and while this isn't specifically a Prime Day sale, it is a sale that I was told is going to end either today or tomorrow. So essentially, it's the same thing. Basically, the Ultrahuman Ring AIR is on a discounted price for early bird pricing at $299. Normally, it's going to be $349. I just reviewed it. You can check out the review if you want to learn more. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. An excellent wearable as well. Very similar to the Oura Ring with one very big difference, and that being that you don't have to pay a monthly subscription to have all of your data, which I know for a lot of people is a really big deal. So definitely check out Ultrahuman Ring as well if that's something you're interested in today or tomorrow. I'm not sure when the discount ends. Now, going back to Amazon, we have the Apple Watch. Now, the Apple Watch is obviously one of the best sports watches you can buy. The SE, a lot of people discount the SE because it's the cheaper version of the regular Apple Watch. But realistically, it has pretty much every feature that the vast majority of people would want or need from an Apple Watch. And it's at a really good price. It's at $199, so it's 20% off regular. Definitely a really good option for sleep tracking, for fitness tracking, all of this stuff. So I highly suggest checking that out. The SC is really overlooked as probably one of the best options for a lot of people for fitness wearables. Also, we have the Apple Watch Series 8, which is the newest version of the regular Apple Watch. So that's 30% off. Normally it's $400. It's here at $279. So another really good deal. It's going to be slightly better and provide more options than the SE. So if you want to pay the extra amount for the difference, totally worth it. So check that out. Then we have some Fitbit devices that are on sale on Amazon. So let's go through some of those. Now, we got to talk a little bit about each of these devices because they're all a little different and some are going to be better than others, right? So the Fitbit Charge 5, now that's a pretty old device now. It's like 2 years old at this point. It was really good when it was released. It's still really good for its price. I would say, it's discounted down to $99. I think it's a good price for the product. It's fairly accurate. It's very cheap. It's nice looking. It's easy to use, especially if you need something just more simple. $99 though, it's on sale like that a lot, and I probably, since it's so old, wouldn't buy this unless it was at least $99 or less. So if you want it, it's a good price for it, but I've seen it at this price lots of times, so you're not necessarily going to miss out if you don't get it today, I don't believe. Next, for Fitbit, we have the Inspire 3, which is a more new device. It's similar to the Charge 5, except it doesn't have any sort of GPS tracking, so it's going to be a little cheaper, right? It's $79. It's discounted 20% off. Normally it's about $100. Again, really good device. If you don't need GPS tracking, you might as well get this over the Charge 5, especially since it's cheaper, it's newer, so it probably likely have any less issues. Then we have the Fitbit Sense 2. Now, I reviewed the Fitbit Sense 2, and it's a pretty good, just general fitness tracker with some issues. Now, one of the issues is that they added, this new subscription to get like all of your data and scoring and stuff like that. So if you're not a fan of paying monthly subscriptions for memberships like this, it may not be the best option. They also took away some of the features that were available on the Fitbit Sense 1, like the ability to download and play music that you had downloaded on it, which is a big shame because a lot of times if you want to go for a run or a walk, you don't always want to have to bring your phone and connect to your phone. So it's nice to have that downloadable option. And they seemingly took that away, evidently just to make a bigger difference between the Fitbits and the Google Pixel, which is also on sale, and we'll cover it too. So it's still good. It has an interesting stress sensor. I'll put a link to the review that I did below. But the price of it, 23% off, so discounted down to $229. It's not bad. Still not great. I would probably try to get this thing for under $200 if I was to be honest. Okay, next we have Versa 4, which is similar to the Sense 2. It doesn't have the stress tracker that the Sense 2 has. Again, I did a review on this, but it's pretty similar to the Sense 2 in almost every other way, but it's a lot cheaper. So looks like it's almost $100 cheaper or $100 cheaper. And I think this is actually a pretty reasonable deal. And if you're looking for a Fitbit that was able to, have some GPS tracking, this might be the best way to go if you're not a fan of that really thin style like the Charge 5, especially since this is newer. It's not that much more expensive. I think this is probably the best deal that Fitbit has for, within their watches for Prime Day. So that would be something worth considering. Moving on to Garmin. So Garmin's got a lot of discounts for a lot of their watches, a lot of them for the Garmin Epix. Now, Garmin just released a month ago the Garmin Epix Pro, and actually I'm reviewing it right now. The Garmin Epix is not the Pro, but it's not that much different than the Pro. There's not like this has a little a flashlight. The regular Garmin Epix Gen 2 does not have that flashlight, unfortunately. It doesn't have a few other features, but it's not that much different. And there's a huge price difference. Like this is over $1,000. This discounted at 33% is $599, so normally $900. Really good deal. Really good deal. I also have this Epix, and it's excellent. A very good watch, great tracking, great accuracy, really good GPS. Looks nice, lasts forever. The battery's like insane for, especially for the AMOLED display. So definitely something I would highly consider getting if you're if you're a runner or like to do outdoor sports and want a really high quality tracker. Now there's other Garmin Epix sales as well. So this one's not as big of a sale, but this is for I believe, what was this one for? But I believe this is for the Sapphire Titanium version. So, it's got the Sapphire screen, so much more scratch resistant, and it's got the titanium shell. So, again, just a more tough version of it. It's a lot more expensive, especially the sale's not quite as good as the regular, but still definitely worth considering. But if you check this out, we have this Garmin Epix 2, this white version, which is also a sapphire lens and titanium casing, but the discount's much better. So it's 30% off, $699, normally $1,000. This is a really, really good deal if you want a more tough version of the Epix, this is probably the best one to get. And again, it's a very big discount. It's $300 off. Totally worth it if you're into running and want a high-end watch that can track, you know, pretty much everything that you do. Moving on further with Garmin, we have the Garmin Fenix 7, super popular watch, really good, very similar to the Epix in a lot of ways. It's a little bit cheaper because it doesn't have the AMOLED display. It lasts forever, long battery, does everything you would want it to do. So we have this at about $100 off. And I believe that pretty much all of the Fenix 7s, because with Garmin, you can get various versions of them. So there's like Sapphire or Solar. So this is the Sapphire or Solar, which means the Sapphire lens, which is harder and harder to scratch. And then the Solar means that it has a longer battery because it has a solar screen, which helps recharge the battery when you're outside. But there's various versions of the Fenix 7 that you can get, and they're all discounted seemingly about $100 for Prime Day. Now, the heart rate monitor is on sale. It's been on sale a few times, but this is a pretty good discount if you're looking for it. It's $103, 20% off. From what I've heard, I don't have it, but from what I've heard, it's a very accurate heart rate monitor and has some other really nice capabilities of tracking running dynamics alongside your Garmin watch. That said, a lot of the new Garmin watch updates have allowed the watches to provide the same running dynamics without the need for it with the pullers or with the strap. So if you want the strap, this is a good one to get. There are other straps, though, that are also on sale for Prime Day, which we'll cover in just a second. Garmin Instinct as well is a fairly old watch at this point, but look at that price. It's 43% off. It's $142. It's still a really good watch. It's super durable. It's fairly accurate. It's going to give most people exactly what they want if you're an outdoor runner or outdoor cyclist. So definitely worth considering, especially that price is really, really good. Okay, moving on. We have one more Garmin, the Garmin Venu 2 Plus, and I believe there's other versions of these and even more from Garmin on sale. This is kind of more similar to like just a classic, like it's a sports watch, but it looks really nice. You can play some music and text, all that stuff. And it's on sale for 22% off, normally $450. It's $100 off, so $350. It's a great watch, definitely worth considering if that's what you're looking for. We have the Google Pixel Watch. Now, I did a review of the Google Pixel Watch. If you ever saw it, I'm not a huge fan of the Google Pixel Watch. When it comes to fitness, it's got this like bubbly screen that's really easy to scratch. It's not the most accurate. It's not the most... There's a lot of reasons I don't like it as a fitness watch. That said, if you're really into like Google, Android, and you just really like the way it looks, then I would say it's pretty decent. It's kind of like a Fitbit. And it's not terrible. They've made some new updates to it recently that have made it slightly better. And it's on sale. It's about $100 off from $350 to $250. You know, I would consider it if you were going to buy this anyway. But again, it wouldn't be my first choice unless you just really want a regular kind of Fitbit type tracker that has this kind of nice look to it. So it's worth considering. And then the Polar Grit X Pro. Now, I also reviewed this recently. It's not a new watch, but it's a very good watch. Now, unfortunately, it was just really good when it got released, but then in the past like year and a half, like the criteria for what is a really good outdoor watch just increased. So it doesn't hold up quite as well to the most high-end watches anymore, but it still is really good. And at that price of $388, I think it's definitely worth it. It's got some really good stuff going for it. And, you know, in terms of like certain features, like I would say the HRV tracking for one is far better than other watches like Garmin. It lags behind a little bit with like the GPS not being, you know, allowed for multi-band GPS and all that. But it's got a pretty good battery. And like I said, it has great sleep tracking and really good HRV tracking. So definitely worth considering at this price. I wouldn't consider it really at the full price. Speaking of Polar, we have their heart rate monitor. Now the H10, the Polar H10 is like the go-to heart rate monitor in terms of accuracy. Pretty much everybody that I know who cares a lot about having the most accurate strap uses the H10. In fact, I would say probably almost everybody who reviews watches and compares heart rate data, they probably also use the H10 as pretty much the gold standard of like baseline of like, yeah, that's very accurate. And so if you want a really incredibly accurate, easy to use heart rate strap, then this is a great deal. 15% off, normally $90, so it's $76. I would definitely suggest it if you're in the market for a heart rate strap. Okay, let's get rid of some of these tabs and continue. We have a few more wearables. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. I've never, to be honest, used it, so I have no frame of reference to talk about it, but it is 16% off, so a little under, it's like $70 almost off. Got sapphire lens. I heard here it has pretty decent tracking, so it seems like a reasonable price. Not a huge discount, but definitely reasonable. And we got the Suunto 9 Peak Pro. Again, I have not used it, but I have heard good things, especially with its battery life, and it's discounted pretty heavily, 27%. So $150 off seems like a pretty good price for this watch. Moving on, let's get into strength equipment and there's a lot of strength equipment on sale and a lot that is very reasonably priced. So let's go ahead and start with some Amazon basics. Now, make sure that if you are interested in some of this stuff, like especially the Amazon basic stuff, I remember last year during Prime Day, it went fast, like easily within a half day to 1 day, it was all gone and out of stock. So if you do see something you want, especially if it's on Amazon Prime, especially if it's a really good deal, grab it as soon as you can because these deals do disappear quickly. Now, Amazon Basics rubber hex dumbbells, they are pretty much as good as any other rubber hex dumbbells. There might be some that are slightly better, but to be honest, most people aren't going to ever notice. But the price here is just really, really good. So $40 for a 45-pound dumbbell that has free shipping, by the way, is just an incredible deal. Like normally it's like 50% off, so it's normally $80. It's cut down to $40. Really, really good deal. If you need dumbbells, this is the time to get them. These are good enough quality for most people, and it's a great price. So I would get it as quickly as you can. Same with probably the Amazon Basics cast iron kettlebell. Let's see if they still have these. They only go up to 40 pounds. They're probably going to be going pretty soon. Yeah, the 40 pounds are already out of stock. 35 pounds are still available. Maybe by the time this video it won't be, but it's $33 for 35 pounds. And again, 20% off, not as good as the dumbbells, but still a good deal. I don't know how good the kettlebells are. I don't really like the look of that grip, to be honest, compared to some of the, it looks a little slippery, but it's not bad. The Amazon Basics exercise bench, it doesn't have a huge discount. It's only 5% off, but it's a pretty good price for just a standard bench. So if you're looking for a bench press, $52, you can't beat that with free shipping. 5% off just sweetens the deal. It's definitely worth considering. Amazon Basics medicine ball. If you use medicine balls, I don't really use them that often, but if you do, they are 39% off. So $20 for a 10-pound ball. Or you can go lower or higher from there. Definitely worth considering if you want, a medicine ball. I will say though, I have used this ball before and I have broken one of these before. So if you are going to slam it like really crazy, that's not what these are meant for. So they're not slam balls. Next up, we have the Bowflex Select 840 kettlebell, and it's 40% off. It's $118. I reviewed this as well, and it's a really good adjustable kettlebell. It's not perfect. The grip's a little slippery, kind of weird. It's a little thin shaped, which makes it kind of awkward and feel kind of not great if you're doing like kettlebell snatches or cleans. But if you just want something to do regular kettlebell swings with, that's adjustable, easy to use, $118 for the one that goes anywhere from 8 to 40 pounds, then it's totally worth considering. I haven't looked to see if Jack's Jocks is on sale. That's the other adjustable kettlebell that's pretty decent, and I have seen that go on a deep sale recently, but I don't believe it's on sale currently, so not sure if that's worth looking into because I don't see it on here anymore. Then we have the Bowflex SelectTech Bar. So this is an adjustable kind of barbell. It's 42% off. So it's normally $750. It's only $436. You know, I've never used this, but that's a pretty sizable discount. It's a 20-pound dumbbell with a 20-pound curl bar included. So basically 2 barbells, and it adjusts from 20 to 80 pounds. You know, it's not going to be enough for a lot of people to do strength training, but for some people, it's going to be a really great start. At $436, it's not like crazy expensive, but it's definitely worth considering if you only want something that goes up to that amount, because it is kind of space efficient to just be able to adjust the weight like that. So interesting to check that out. We also have Bowflex, the weight bench. The weight bench inclines, obviously, at $296. Again, I haven't used this one particularly. It looks like an okay bench, not terrible, not great. I think at $296, it's more of like a fair price. Probably wouldn't be interested in paying $500 for this one, but at under $300, it becomes pretty competitive compared to some others. And I believe there is another bench that has a deep sale that we'll talk about in a minute that's maybe even more worth considering if it's still available. Then, so let's go over to Cap Barbell, which is selling, the company, it's Cap Barbell, but these are dumbbells. So this is a 150-pound dumbbell set with a rack for $159. So pretty much as good a price as that Amazon Basics deal. It's 16% off, so you're saving about $30 with this Prime discount. They do have other types of handles, so you can change like the kind of looks of them. I'm not sure if they're all discounted in the same way. But this is, again, another really good deal. I do like the fact that it has this stand to hold everything. And so in terms of dumbbells that I've seen, this is probably the best deal to get right now for Prime Day. If you need that much dumbbells. Now, you can't get them individually like you can with the Amazon Basics, but if you want a whole set, this is a pretty good deal. Now, Cap Barbell also has other stuff that's really heavily discounted. One of which is this adjustable weighted vest. So they have regular short options. It's 65% off. It's $28 for a weight vest that's 20 pounds. That is a really good deal as well. You know, you'll typically see, this for $80 or $100. Is it the best quality weight vest of all time? Probably not, but at $28, it doesn't really matter. And it seems balanced enough. There's weights in the front and the back, so you're not going to be that uncomfortable. But let's say you want something that can go up to, and I believe all these are adjustable. So if you get a 60-pound pack, that means it can be anywhere from like 0 to 60 pounds because you can always take weight off. For $100, that seems more like the regular price. It doesn't seem like those are discounted. So it might be only the 20-pound pack that is discounted, but you can kind of look through these to see if any of the other ones are. Now, Cap Barbell also has, cast iron dumbbells at discounted rates, so 20% off for the cast iron dumbbells. So if you aren't worried about dropping them and you just want to get some, metal dumbbells, you prefer these, this is a pretty decent deal. 17% off, not great, but pretty decent. Then they also have, they got a lot of things on sale. Barbell Olympic 2-inch plate rack. I have one of these. Use it all the time for. It's great to store all of your weights, especially a mix of smaller and bigger weights. It's 5% off, $47. It's not a great Prime deal, but it's still a good, worth having, worth considering. Then we have the Trap Bar, which is 30% off. So $77 for a Trap Bar, I think, is a really good deal. A Trap Bar allows for like trap deadlifts, which is a really nice movement to be able to add into your strength routine. And at $77, as long as you have the space for it, it's pretty reasonable. I would definitely, I might consider actually getting this because I don't have a hex bar here in the garage. Finally, from Cap Barbell, we got premium bumper plates. So 39% off for bumper plates, which is excellent. So like this 10 pair set is $43. They have a 45-pound set for $122, which is 50% off. That is a really good deal, and it's free shipping, I believe. So yeah, if you need bumper plates, this might be the best time and the best place to get them, because you probably will not find them cheaper than this. Okay, so next up we have the FLYBIRD Adjustable Bench. Now this is probably the best deal on benches out of all of them, because remember we talked about the Bowflex bench being discounted to like a few $100s, I believe, maybe $300. This is down to $100, and it looks to be pretty much the same quality as that Bowflex one. So if you're looking for an adjustable bench and don't want to spend a whole lot of money, because they can get really expensive for some of the higher end ones, this is a really good deal. $109 for a fully adjustable bench. Definitely probably one of the best deals out of everything we've covered in terms of the strength equipment, for sure. If you need an inclined bench, this is definitely the one to get if you want a fairly cheap one. And not that there's anything wrong with the cheap ones either, because they all pretty much do the same, unless you're like extremely strong and you're worried about it collapsing, and you're not going to be that way. So definitely worth considering. Also, FLYBIRD has this adjustable dumbbells. Now they only go up to 15 pounds, so not a ton. But if you want like really quick, easy, and it looks like pretty nice adjustable dumbbells, 20% off, $111. It doesn't seem too unreasonable. Like if you compare the price between buying, a 5 pound, a 10 pound, and a 15 pound, and this, it probably will be around similar, but this is going to take up less space. So, it's worth the consideration. I'm not sure if I would be interested in 5 to 15 pound dumbbells, but I know some people would be. Moving on, we have some more vests. So Hyperwear, that makes these hyper vests, weight vests. These are even nicer than some of the other ones I talked about. This is 20% off, it seems like, for most of the sizes. 28% off for this one. So it's 20+% off for a lot of these. Now they are more expensive, right? The other one was like $30 that we discussed. So that's going to be a better deal if you just need a 20-pound vest and you don't really care about the quality. But for a really nice one like this that's adjustable, it's a pretty good deal. Like, again, it's an expensive vest anyway at $300, but you're getting at least $75, $85 off. Definitely worth considering if you were looking for a more higher end, comfortable weight vest to run, hike, or do any kinds of exercise with. So moving on from there, we have some more adjustable dumbbells from Lifepro. These are 20% off, normally $180. Now they're $143. They go from 5 to 55 pounds. I haven't used these, but I have seen them being used, and they seem pretty decent. The Norlene seems regular. It doesn't seem anything special, but at the price is what makes it pretty special, because a lot of times 5 to 55 pound adjustable dumbbells are a lot more expensive than this. It might not be the best one ever, but it is definitely one of the best priced adjustable dumbbells. Moving on to more adjustable dumbbells, we have the Nordictrack 50-pound iSelect adjustable dumbbells. And I reviewed these. I have these. These are excellent. I really like them, with one caveat. So at $340, I think it's a really fair price for them. Now, one of the benefits of this Nordictrack adjustable dumbbell is that the weight changes extremely quickly. So there's a dial in the middle of it. I don't know if they have a picture of it. Yeah, there's a dial in the middle of it. You change it from like 25 to 40 pounds, and literally within like 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds, a half second, it'll change the weight. So you can put it down, dial it, pick it up, and keep going. So it's one of the fastest changing adjustable dumbbells ever. The only issue is that you do have to have it plugged in, since it does need electricity to function. So unlike some other adjustable dumbbells you can have wherever and just manually adjust them, this one you do have to have a power source. So if you are okay with having a power source, then I really like it because they're comfortable to use. Again, they have a really good high quality grip, and they change really quickly. So if you're doing like if you're doing like more higher intensity workouts where you're switching weights back and forth pretty quickly, sometimes having a slower adjustable dumbbell can be kind of a pain to use if you're going back in between movements that have different weights. But with this, it's very quick. It's like less than half a second after you put it down. So I really like it. And it also has a voice control to it. So if you're really lazy, you can hook it up to Alexa and say, Alexa, change the weight to 40 pounds, and it'll change the weight to 40 pounds. So I've never found the use for that really. I just change it myself since it's so quick, but it can be done. So moving on from there, we have more adjustable dumbbells. These are more of like the hardcore, Powerblocks are just like, they're a little more gnarly looking. They're always pretty good. They're a little bit less comfortable than some other adjustable dumbbells that I've used, but still really good high quality dumbbells. 9% off, $30 off. Not the greatest discount, to be honest, but if you were looking for these anyway, this is probably the best time to get them. They have other dumbbells though that have a bigger discount. So these ones are the 90-pound adjustable dumbbells. So they can get really heavy. They're not the most comfortable to always use in every situation, but they are 15% off. So instead of $827, they are $699. It's a pretty good discount if you're in the market for an adjustable dumbbell that can go this heavy. And so, yeah, I would definitely suggest checking into it. Make sure to watch a review to see if it's something that would be, a good fit for you, of course. Moving on, we have some resistance bands for sale. These are 51% off, which is excellent. So it's only $12 for a 5 set. Is that right? 5 sets of stretch band. 5 sets of these for $12 is actually pretty incredible. So each band has a different resistance. So like heavy, medium, and light. I don't know what the other ones are, if there's 5 of them. But if it comes with 5 bands and it's only $12, and from the looks of it, they have good reviews. This is a very good deal. I love hip band training. I think a lot of guys don't do enough hip band training because it's seen as more of like a woman thing, but it's excellent. It's one of the reasons I think I have been able to squat pretty much like every week for the past 10 years with no issue, or really 20 years, but I've had no knee issues, and really no knee issues once I started implementing a lot of hip work. And I think they're really critical to use. I really strongly suggest people use them in their training. But and at $12 for a 5-pack, there's no excuse not to add them. Moving on, we have a squat stand from Sunny Health and Fitness. It's a kind of a nice little squat stand too. It has safety bars. It has little holders for weight. It's got a pull-up bar that looks like it can be adjusted based on the height that you want it. At $200, it's 40% off. This is a really good price for this type of rack, and I would definitely consider getting this if I was in the market for a squat rack, especially one with safety bars, because you definitely don't see that with most squat racks at this price. Moving on, we have some TRX stuff. So they have an all-in-one suspension trainer. It's 20% off, $150. I don't use TRX stuff that much, but I know there is some value to it. It's nice for like rows and various body type exercises. And if you don't have that much space, and it can definitely be pretty valuable. And even if you have space, it's nice alternative to like, we used to use like gymnastics rings and like CrossFit, which I don't really use those very much anymore. These are probably better suited for most people. So 20% off seems like a pretty good discount. There's also the TRX Go bundle, also 20% off. And to be honest, I don't know the differences between these TRX sets. They have various, it looks like, accessories to them, but they all kind of have the main primary, TRX. Finally, we have the Yes for All 1 second adjustable dumbbells. Let's check the price based on the size. So 55-pound pair. It's $219, and it adjusts from 5 to 55 pounds. They say it can be adjusted in 1 second, which is pretty good. Yeah. Again, this is a lot cheaper than, for example, the Nordictrack ones I showed earlier, which were the digital ones, which changed like really quickly. If these ones change pretty much as quickly. They may even be the better bet, although it looks to me, not having used it, but just looks wise, especially looking at that handle, doesn't look like it's going to be the most high quality and best feeling handle with a good knurling and grip. So you kind of get what you pay for a lot of times with strength equipment, including here. So that said, it's time to move on to cardio equipment. And there's a lot of stuff here as well. So first off, the main one that a lot of people are going to be looking at is the Peloton Bike. The Peloton Bike is 21% off. It's normally $1,445, and it's around $300 less than that. This isn't the lowest price this bike has ever seen, especially if you consider the refurbished versions. And the Peloton bikes have been in storage so long, and I would consider them all kind of refurbished at this point. So I don't know if there's going to be a huge difference between buying a new one and buying a refurbished one. That said, $1,145 is a pretty reasonable price, and if you want a Peloton bike, this is a good time to get it. Do be aware that there is a $44 per month membership that is required ongoing in order to be able to use pretty much any feature on the bike, but Peloton has some of the best content for classes, like especially cycling classes, available, so definitely worth considering, especially at this price. That said, there's also the Peloton Bike Plus. Now, this discount is 14%, but it's over $300 off. Normally $2,495. Now it's $2,145. I have the Peloton Bike Plus, and I much prefer it over the original Peloton Bike. Obviously, there's a huge price difference, but let me give you a quick rundown of the main differences, because I think most people see a few things but aren't aware of all of them. One of which, the most obvious of which, is it's got this bigger screen that looks a lot nicer, that rotates, full degrees, so you can take classes off the bike if you want to. And that's great. But you can also get like attachments for the original that can do that for like $50. So not a huge seller from my perspective. The other thing it can do has automatically adjusting resistance. So you can set the resistance to just automatically adjust to what the instructor is calling out, and it'll adjust the class for you, which I think is pretty nice and useful, though I don't really use it because I like the Power Zone classes on Peloton much more, and it doesn't really work in those types of classes. The biggest reason that I like the Peloton Bike Plus over the original Peloton Bike is because the original Peloton bikes, one, they're very old. Like, they've been in storage for a long time, but besides that, the tech on them, like the tech in the screens, the tech in all the stuff, it's extremely old. They said they were actually about 4 years ago, they were saying like, oh yeah, in a few years we're gonna have to replace these screens for everybody. Like, you're gonna have to buy a new screen, and it's been a few years, and they're obviously not gonna change the screens at this point. They're just gonna make do with what they have. But I think if you buy the original Peloton bike, because it's kind of slower and more clunky, and they're not going to be able to add on everything to it down the road, I really feel that you're going to have to buy another $400 or $500 screen to improve it at some point, and pretty soon. Whereas with the Peloton Bike Plus, it's much, much better tech. And so because of that, like, you already take away $500 there. And on top of that, the other big reason I really like the Peloton Bike Plus is because it's automatically calibrating. So the score that you get, you can calibrate it, and it'll be the same like a year from now. Whereas and it'll be the same from anybody else who has the Peloton Bike Plus if you ever ride another one. Whereas the older Peloton bikes are not calibrated in that way, and they are all like really far off from each other, but also really far off from if you use it one day, and then if you use it like 6 months, or if you move it and to another room, it could bump it slightly and it'll be way off than what it was before. And it can be really hard to know if you're making any kinds of improvements or not, because I just don't think the accuracy is at all anywhere close to compared with the Peloton Bike Plus. So those are some of the big reasons why I like it, but obviously it's so much more expensive. If you just want a bike to ride on, going with the original bike is more than perfectly okay. Now, Peloton also has a discount for the Peloton Guide. It's $165. This is basically like a camera you put on your TV. It tracks your movements. It kind of tracks your reps, and you can see yourself on the TV while you do the movements next to the instructor. To be honest, I reviewed this as well. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it adds any sort of value if you already have like a Fire TV or an Apple TV, or you take classes on the Peloton Bike with the rotating screen. Well, I just do not see any value of getting this. I know some people like that it tracks your reps, sort of, and it can be more motivating, to be honest, but and it is fairly cheap also. But I have one of these, and I'll take Peloton classes, and I won't even use this because it's more inconvenient. The remote sucks with it. There's a lot of other ways to take Peloton classes that are more convenient and better than this. That said, Peloton has one more thing, and that's the Peloton cycling shoes. So the Peloton cycling shoes, I think, let me see the sizes. I'll just go like, yeah. So they're okay. So Peloton Bike, so the Peloton cycling shoes are also on sale at around 40% off. I'm not sure if it's different per size. That's a pretty good deal, but these are the old Peloton cycling shoes and not the new ones. They came out with new ones about a year and a half ago, which are much better. These ones fall apart pretty easily. They're not the most comfortable. They're okay, but they're not anywhere near the quality of the newer ones. And the newer ones you can get for like $100 when they're on sale typically. So I don't know if you can get other companies too that are around this price or maybe slightly more expensive, and they're much better. If you really like the Peloton, like you want everything to have the Peloton logo to it, get them. It's a good discount. But otherwise, probably one to skip. No. Also, considering bikes, we have the Garmin Tacx Neo, which is a smart trainer. It's 14% off, so a few $100s off. I've heard lots of good things. If you like to ride your bike on a smart trainer, this is definitely a good deal, and I don't know how long it lasts, but I believe it's just for Prime Day only. Then let's go on to the Nordictrack T-Series treadmills. Now, the T-Series is more of like their Amazon treadmills. They're more heavily, they're cheaper treadmills. You know, they are not going to be the best quality, but they are really good priced. And so it's $599, normally $800. And, you know, it goes up to 10 miles an hour, so not at like the 12 that you would typically see. It's a little smaller. It's lighter. It connects to the iFit classes, which I really like the iFit classes for the treadmills, but the screen is like, it's so small. Like, it's like your phone. I don't even know why they just don't give you a spot for your phone. But if you want a treadmill and you don't plan on like running that fast or that steep, and you want something that's really well priced, you know, I've heard good things about people getting the T-Series. Now, also, Nordictrack has their bike on sale. This is a really good price. It's 33% off. It's normally $1,500 on Amazon, which is slightly different than their website. But it's under $1,000 for Prime. It's got the 22-inch screen. So the S22i, I've reviewed it as well as the S27i, which is the same thing pretty much with a slightly bigger screen. This is definitely worth considering. Like I said, I really like Nordictrack and the iFit platform. It's more outdoors like focused. So compared to Peloton, which is like indoor studio and good music, Nordictrack and like the S22i, it's more focused on like following in these really cool outdoor rides. Their instructors are good as well. I would say, you know, if I had to choose between a Peloton bike and a Nordictrack bike, I would probably choose the Peloton bike. But on treadmills, I would probably choose like the Nordictrack treadmills in terms of like the instruction and the classes and stuff. But the bike also inclines and declines, which, you know, no other bike really does. So it adds another element that I think is really interesting and kind of makes it more fun. So if you like, you know, outdoor rides, it's definitely worth considering, and especially at this price, it's really good. I don't know if I've ever seen it, to be honest, at that low of a price ever. Now, moving on, continue with bikes. We have the Bowflex indoor bike, so the Velocore, and I reviewed this as well. It's 15% off, so $1,800. It's an okay discount. The bike is I like the bike. It rotates sideways, so you're kind of going here and here, or you can lock it in. It's a really strange looking bike. Like, I don't like how it looks. It looks kind of like an alien to me. And, you know, the platform doesn't have really any good like coach classes or anything, but the platform allows you to take adaptive programs on like Netflix and all kinds of entertainment options, which is pretty cool. So it's not a bad bike at all. I like it. At $1,800 though, it's still a bit expensive, especially when the Peloton bike, for example, is only like $1,100 and the Nordictrack S22i is under $1,000. This just seems like not the best option. Bowflex also has a treadmill, which kind of runs off the same platform. It's 30% off, so a pretty steep discount. And I haven't tested the Bowflex treadmills, to be honest. If it's like their other equipment, it's probably pretty good quality, but I haven't tested it. If you're looking for instruction, it's not going to be that great. But if you're looking to just like watch Netflix and take like programs while you're watching shows and entertainment, then that's where I think Bowflex is a really good option, because they have probably the best setup in terms of like taking classes while watching entertainment, because they have workouts that tell you what to do like on a little part of the screen while you watch whatever show you want to watch. So they have the entertainment part of it like dialed in, and I do like that a lot, because I prefer that over instructors at this point. I have never seen this water rower before. It's 50% off. It's only $299, and it's a water rower with a sideways water. It's worth considering. If it has good reviews, it's so cheap compared to most rowers, then it may be worth looking into. Like, see if there's any reviews on this thing. $300 is hard to just throw and pass up, though. You know, I did that with the Echelon one because it was like $600 or $700, but at $300, possibly worth considering looking into. Again, it may not be the best, obviously. Like, I don't know what this strap is. It might be a regular nylon strap, but it might not be. But yeah, I would look into it if you want a cheap rower. Speaking of rowers, we have the Hydrow Connected Fitness rowing machine. This is the Hydrow Rower. I love the Hydrow Rower. This is like one of my favorite rowers. You know, I just finished 250,000 meters on it the other week. This is one of my favorite, especially with how it feels. It just feels so nice to use. It's pretty quiet. It looks really, really nice. $500 off, so 20% off. I don't know if I've seen it discounted this heavily, maybe once before, but this is a really, really good price for a really good rower. Do be aware that you will be caught into a membership with it if you want to use any sort of features. I think you can like just row on it without a membership, but otherwise you do have to pay a subscription, which is like $40, $44, something in that area. But the subscription also is really excellent. The coaches on there are probably the best rowing coaches on any fitness platform that I've tested out, even more so than like Peloton's row and all that stuff. So I really do enjoy their platform. And so if you want like a rowing machine with coach classes, outdoor classes, and tons of content, it's really good. And I would suggest it because it's a good price too. Okay, now there are some other cardio equipment that I'll put links to in the description below, but I just didn't want to talk about all of them because they're all kind of like the more cheap, kind of they might break, might not. I haven't really tested them out like ones. You could look into them and see the reviews, but so I put the links to all of them, but I don't really want to kind of go over them and say the same things about all of them. But now let's talk about recovery, which I have tested out pretty much all of these products with. So first up, we have Hyperice Venom 2, which is a heat wrap you strap around your back. It gets really, really hot. So like really hot. There's different settings, of course, and it can vibrate as well. It is really good, I find, to use if you have like back aches, if you need to get loosened up, if you lift early in the morning, if it's cold. It's a really easy way to get your core temperature warmed up, even before you start moving a ton. So you can just strap this on and get it going, and you will get warmed up very quickly. And it's really nice. And at 20% off, it's a pretty reasonable deal. I definitely consider it. Now, there is also, speaking of Venom, the Venom Go, which I reviewed as well. Now, this is a more of like, so it's $129. It's normally $150, but you can also put a $20 coupon on it. This is really cool. It's like you can place this pad anywhere on your body, especially like for me, I'll put it on my neck. And then this little magnet goes on top of it, which is this, and then it heats everything up. And so it gives you like very local heat like therapy on wherever you want it. And it's very small, so you can take it with you on the go. So it's good for athletes and everything. I find it's good for your neck because it's hard to put like heat pads that you could heat up a pad like a bean pad, but the heat's going to dissipate pretty quickly. With this thing, the heat doesn't go away. You can just keep the heat on there constantly for as long as you want. And so these are just really, really nice. A really good gift too for athletes or anybody who has an aching neck. I like it a lot. Now, Hyperice also makes Hypervolt guns, massage guns. So the Hypervolt Go 2 is their more like lower end massage gun, more kind of like less power, but this one, what makes it really nice, it's not like the best massage gun. It's got a fairly low whatever you call distance for the massage gun, so it doesn't feel as like impactful as some of the other ones, but it's 50% off. It's $99. And the thing that I like most about this one, and I have it here, and like my wife will use this one because it looks so nice. And so if you want a gift, or if you want to get a massage gun that some people will actually use, like for some reason, because this one looks so nice, people actually use it compared to some other massage guns that might be more intimidating and people just don't use them. This one actually gets carried around and used quite a bit. So I think it's a great gift, especially. And at $99, 50% off, a really good deal. Now, Hypervolt 2 is the more upgraded version of that. So this is like a regular massage gun that's quite a bit more powerful. And this is a really good deal as well. Pretty much 50% off almost. It's $159, normally $300. Again, if you want just a regular massage gun, like that's pretty good, pretty solid, this is a really excellent deal. Now, the one that I like the most, because, I like to get in there deep, I want something that, really punches in with that massage gun, is that Hypervolt 2 Pro. So this is going to provide a lot more power. Now, it's normally $400, but it's discounted down to $259. Pretty good discount. I don't think I've seen it at this price before. It may have been once or twice. I can put a link to that as well. Definitely a really good gun, good punch, and you can be used by athletes or pretty much anybody as well. So really good deal there. Hyperice also has the Vyper 3. Now this is a massage foam roller. It's normally $200. Now it's $159. I've used the Vyper 2, and I have the Vyper 2 here. And with vibrating foam rollers, they are nice. Now, you can get a regular foam roller for like $10 or $20. And so there is a big price difference between a regular one and a vibrating one. And the difference between the two isn't like huge. So that's what makes it hard to suggest a lot of times the vibrating foam rollers. However, it does help. So it's not like it's not like a gimmick. Like if the vibration makes it easier, at least for me, to trick my mind, it allows my body to relax more into the foam roller, which means I can get more out of it. And so it's really nice to use, but it's also quite a bit more expensive. But if you want like the best, then this is it, and it's discounted as well. So again, definitely a good option if that's the case. Now, moving on, we have the Hyperice Mini. Same idea as a vibrating foam roller, except this is like a vibrating ball. So, typically I'll use a lacrosse ball to dig into various areas for mobility. This is the same thing, except it vibrates. And this is the mini version of their ball, which is actually the one I prefer and I have. And it's 30% off. I think this is actually more worth it than even the foam roller. I use this thing all the time for the bottoms of my feet, for my legs, for my chest and my back. Really excellent tool to work with mobility on. Has different vibrating settings as well. Then we have Hyperice. They also own Normatec. And I reviewed these Normatec Go leggings last year. And they were probably one of my favorite things that I reviewed last year. And I still use them almost every day, all the time. And the reason I use these, and I have the regular, which I'll talk about next, the regular Normatec leggings, which cover your whole legs. They're really big. I use these way more often. And the reason I think these are even more valuable is they're not, as good as the Normatec legs that cover your whole legs, but you can use them in any situation. Like I could be wearing them now and you wouldn't know. I can walk around with them, around my calves, and I'm getting that massage and that compression, and that blood flow is being, often blood gets pulled into your calves, so it's being shot back into the leg. So it not only helps you recover your calves, but your whole leg. It's really good, and it's really good to use all the time. And so I really do like the Normatec Go's. I use them all the time. Again, even more so than the regular Normatecs, which are also just on sale. So let's go check that out here, I believe. Yep. So they have it's discounted 20% from $1,049 to $839. Now, these are the leggings I'm talking about. The reason this is actually more expensive than normal is because it's also including these, I don't know if these are the hip pads. Yeah, the hip pads, which can really get into your hips. Now, this is a really good, if you really want like the best recovery possible, this is the way to go. Like you are going to get massive compression through your legs. I do not have the hip ones, but I really want the hip pads. I have heard nothing but really good things about them. And so, yeah, if you want like the full boat deal, it's a pretty good discount at about $200 off. So definitely worth considering. Now, outside of Hyperice, the main alternative for a lot of these things is Therabody or Theragun, and they don't have quite as much on sale, and their sale is not as good, it doesn't seem, for this Prime Day. So like their version of like their mini gun is $169, so compared to $200. So whereas the Hyperice's kind of mini version was $99, which was normally $200. So this one I think does have a little bit more of a kick to it than that, but it's a lot more expensive. Moving on, Theragun also has a discount on their Theragun Prime. It's 30% off, so about $100 off. This is the 4th generation, so I think it actually is not the most current one that they released, which explains it. But it's a good price, especially for a really good gun. And so this is another option, I think, alongside Hyperice that could be good. Theragun also has the Pro, and I did review, well, again, this is the 4th generation, so this is the older version. I reviewed the newer version. So it says list price is $599, but that's not really true because that's what the price is for the new version when it's not on sale. So typically you see this for around $400, $450. So, but still at $349, it's quite a bit cheaper, and I think it's a really nice massage gun. It's one of the best ones you can buy. And so at $349, if you want the best of the best, this is probably going to be the way to go. Now, Now, that is all I have for now. Things will obviously change, and I will be adding more if I can, or if I see anything below, or let me know in comments if there's anything that I missed. I hope this helps. I hope you guys get some good deals on Prime Day. Thanks for being here. This is Colin with Connect the Watts, and I'll see you next time.